Hello, hope everyone's having a fantastic day, and I hope you're all ready for another technical analysis. Today we got Mika Halvari. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He is the Finnish record holder at indoor and I think outdoor, but indoor 22 meters and 9 centimeters, and then outdoor PR of 2150. He is a world indoor champion, a world outdoor silver medalist. And one or two time Olympian. I mean, he's just overall fantastic thrower. He threw from like 88 to 2001, I think. So a pretty long career. And this is his 2209. So let's get to it. Oh, sorry. Forgot to edit that. Okay. So let's get to this analysis. So it's going to be a little weird. I shouldn't say weird. It's just not of like it's very much of the time. Like this is like a 90s throw. Like even in the 90s, the rotational shot was still relatively young. It really became popular like mid to late 80s really. Before that there's like Brian Oldfield, Dave Lout, I mean, and but those were like the two prominent figures in the rotational shot. But even during the 90s, there was still a whole bunch of gliders and whatnot. And as you can see, let me play this again. Look how low he's holding the shot. Now, a lot of rotators today, they don't hold it like that now, like Ryan Krauser does. But, he was a glider for a lot of his career. And you tend to see gliders hold that shot very, very low. And when you glide for a really long time and then you switch to rotational, then you tend to see them just hold the same grip, like the same like neck placement and whatnot. That's very standard because you have a very comfortable position in your neck that you've held for many years, and it's not really affecting you in the long run for your shot, for like your releases. I mean, so it's not what I would teach a rotator to do. However, it's whatever is comfortable for the rotator to do. So, you can hold it way far behind your neck, like Joe Kovacs, or you can hold it super in front of your neck, like a Ryan Krauser or Mika. So, let's get to it. So, technique. As you can see by the video, the left arm does some funky stuff. All right, and for right off the bat, I'm going to say some stuff. There's going to be a lot of, I wouldn't say criticism, just like, the rotational shot was still pretty new, like relatively. It was still not like new, but it wasn't like, well, I guess by the 90s, there was like John Godina, Randy Barnes, why am I forgetting his name? Kevin Toth. There were a couple other Americans. Well, why am I forgetting his name? Brent Noon. Yeah, Brent Noon. But like they weren't like perfected. There were still aspects of the glide. It wasn't like a modern day like technique. I think that really started with like the Reese Hoffa, Adam Nelson, Cantwell, like that era, like mid 2000s to like 2010s is like I consider the modern day style of rotational shot put. And then you got the Joe Kovacs that like really just bumped everything up, and then you got the Ryan Krauser, then the Tom Walsh, and now we're at where we at. We're with like Fabries and Zane Weirs and Romanis and all that. But the '90s is still a lot of reminiscent stuff of the glide, still in. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think everyone should start off with the glide because I think the glide teaches you, one, how to just like throw with power and athleticism, and then two, it's just a lot more basic than the rotational shot, a lot less frustrating. So it can bring beginners to really love the sport a lot better than if you just teach them rotational shot immediately, because if you just teach like a beginner rotational shot immediately, like a beginner just wants to throw far really fast. So like you want to keep them interested in the sport. So I tend to teach them the glide, and it just teaches them like really good habits, teaching them how to stay over their right. It teaches them really good stand throw mechanics. It teaches them a lot of good stuff that carries over to the rotational. So I always believe that you should always start out, at least for your first year throwing, as a glider, and then you can move the spin. And during that time, you can work on the discus spin, and that discus spin is what's going to help you develop, the other mechanics of the spin, like, the rest of it, like the back, the front, and the middle, all of that. So then when you go to do rotational shot the next year, now you are hopefully, like, you got the basics down in disc, so it won't be as frustrating as a transition from the glide to the spin. So that's the way I usually go about it. Some people just teach the spin immediately. It's not what I would do personally, but to each his own. So, but now let's get to his actual throw. So starts quarter squat, very good there. Nice even balance. Doesn't really wind back very far, which I really like for shot put especially. So he gets here. I think he kind of falls back with this left shoulder. I would personally like him to go more around and reach out longer. His left shoulder kind of just like goes backwards immediately, so he doesn't really rotate as hard as he can. I do like that he's keeping the left arm with his left knee, so he's not ripping out the back. I really like that. And he stays grounded a while, so his left foot's at 90, and that's when his sweep leg picks up. So very good. He gets good tension right in his hip to get that stretch reflex out the back. And he gets a pretty wide sweep. Yeah, not a bad sweep at all. I would like his left arm to stay up more as a counterbalance, so it just stays down the entire throw. Me personally, I don't like that, because especially if you don't know what you're doing, that can lead to you just collapsing your chest in the middle and just looking at the ground the entire time. So now your posture's all out of whack, and you're not going to be able to throw or land in an efficient manner in the front. So I usually like to teach just the left arm just stays level the entire throw, especially in shot put. But it's not like his left arm's just flopping around. Like, it's just down, but it still has like some tension in it. So it's not like a wet noodle or anything. Lower body wise, fantastic. So he gets off here. Well, I think he actually over rotated just a little. Like, whoa, that was weird. Yeah, he over rotates just a little. I think his sweep leg could be a little more active. Like, by the time his left foot is there, his sweep should already be like around here. It should already be here, and he should get off down this right sector. So he over rotates quite a bit, and so he gets here, and I think maybe that's why he drops his left arm, to kind of put him back into the middle of the ring. Maybe that's why he does that. That's just a theory though. So he does get off late out the back, but he's super quick. I love that he sweeps down and not up, so he's not jumping up in the air. He's, especially in shot put, you want to stay down. You want to sweep down. That's a big difference between the discus sweep and the shot put sweep. Now, if you're like tall as hell, like a 6'7" plus discus thrower, then yeah, sweep down, because you don't need to travel that far across the ring to get across the ring. But in shot put, especially if you're taller, and he's like 6'3", which for actually a rotational shot putter, that's like a pretty decent size. Most of them are relatively like 6 foot to like 6'1". You get like the outliers, like a Ryan Krause or a Fabry, who are like 6'7", 6'8". But most like really elite rotational shot putters are honestly not that tall. which is part of the reason why the rotational shot put technique was even invented. Fun fact was so little quote unquote little guys could keep up with the humongous gliders of the 80s. That were like 6'9" behemoths that were like the most athletic freaks of nature like ever. um, so the rotational shot allows for little guys to throw as far as the big gliders, and that's why the rotational technique was even invented. So it opened up a lot more doors for little people that maybe weren't as strong or as athletically gifted as gliders were back then. And then when you have the elite athletes that now learn rotational shot, that's when you start getting the people that throw further than the gliders. So yeah, that's a fun history fact for you guys that you guys didn't ask for, but you guys got it. So he lands here. Decent. Oh, actually, when does he land? I wish the circle, the ring wasn't black. It would be a lot easier because his legs, he's wearing black tights. So it's kind of hard to see, but luckily he's wearing white shoes, so that helps. So, okay, he lands there. Okay. Lands there. I would like his left foot to be passing him just a little bit more, but not terrible. So he lands there. His right foot. I wish his right foot would keep turning. But this position right here, and this is what I'm talking about, this is a glide position. Now, sure, like his right foot should be facing that way, even in a glide. But this stacked position right here, that's like a glide position with these tilted shoulders here and that left arm going up and around. That's the stereotypical glide right there. And then if you notice, he's not going to turn in the conventional way. Actually, he does a fantastic job turning, actually. Well, not fantastic. I mean, he's not like Krause or anything, but this is actually my first time actually breaking down his throw. I like to do that in a lot of videos. I don't really I like kind of like just scroll through it a little bit. Just get some general talking points, but like finer details, sometimes I discover stuff. And I've actually been meaning to do a video on him for a while because he was actually one of the first throwers I ever watched. I remember watching 1993 World Champion, I think in Gothenburg. Godina got silver, and then Alexander Baggett, who I've done a video on, got one. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not going to speak on that. Okay. So gets the left arm here. Very, very nice. Rotates. I think he could have rotated his foot a little sooner, but he can't really because he didn't face that way, he faced that way. So now his right foot's got to catch up a little, but he stays grounded a really, really long time. So it's really, really nice. And then his right foot catches up a little. Now his block, superb. His left side does not move at all. Look how well he squares up to this throw. So really, really nice there. And what I mean by square up is that the shoulders are facing the sector, and this left shoulder is going to stop, and that right shoulder is going to just keep coming around. So he squares up nicely. So like his shoulders aren't facing like this way, and he's finishing. They're facing this way, and he's finishing. So his shoulders are in the direction that he's throwing. He's not like pulling away or anything. And his hips too. That's the other big part. His hips are facing the sector too. So that's what you want. That's squared up. So your shoulders squared up, hips squared up, everything. Let me delete that. Everything is squared up. Really, really nice there. Under rotated just a hair. So like his left foot landed there. His right lands like there on the reverse. So it's not like insanely terrible, but yeah, like overall fantastic throw. I mean, it went 22.09, so obviously he's a really good thrower. And yeah, so a little bit of like technical flaws and stuff, at least in my opinion. But unfortunately, I couldn't find a video of him that was not in slow mo that was actually at a good angle. Because even earlier in this video, when they showed the thing, I don't know why they film throws like this. It would like show like his top half. No, actually, it would show like his chest and up, him putting into the shot, and then just slowly zoom out. So by the time he finished the throw, that's when like when he reversed, you can actually see his entire body. But like actually through the ring, you couldn't see anything except his hip. It's like the slowest zoom out ever. So I wanted to actually analyze something that was maybe a bit better of an angle than this, but unfortunately I could not. So I do apologize for that. But hopefully you guys get the picture. Hopefully you guys can see this really good. And yeah, thanks for watching, and hope you learned stuff. And happy 4th of July. This should come out the day before, the 4th of July. So yeah, hope you guys have a happy 4th, and see y'all later. Bye. Thanks for watching.